It's June 25th, 2025. I am at Troll Pearl. It's time to get in the weeds. A wonderful Wednesday. Cloudy skies over Toronto, but we're here. We're here and we're back again. Jeremy Lambert is here as always. Good morning. How you doing?
The Oklahoma City Thunder is still the 2025 NBA champions, so I'm still in a good mood.
Well, that's great. Hello, chat. How we doing? We're back at it as we are. We're here every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, till God knows when. 2, 3 afternoon. I don't know anymore. People just come by. People show up. We're all good. So here we go. What else is going on here?
We're going to air our interview with Yuki Kamifuku. Oh my gosh, I screwed that up big time. I am so sorry. That was awful. Yuki Kamifuku. Apologies. We're going to air that later on. We'll air that at like 11 or so today. A little break between things. So that's going on today, Joel.
Great. Otherwise, not much going on in the world of wrestling from the last time that we were on the air. That was yesterday. Y'all were talking about Raw, and since then it's just been NXT, and NXT was a show. So not much really to talk about other than the stuff with Evolution, because otherwise it just kind of existed. Wasn't much in the news pipe either. It was just one of those days
where you don't want to wake up. Everything
more or
is
less.
Fucked.
More
Are
or
you
less.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here. It's a Wednesday.
Right.
Everyone's good.
All right.
There's just not much to talk about these days. Wrestling wise. I mean, y'all. I'm watching there not be much to talk about going into a Saudi show that has had a bunch of changes. There was an NXT show that had stuff. And TNA is going to have a great street fight that airs on Thursday. And then AEW has 2 nights ahead of their show. And they're getting ready for All In. There'll be more matches, I assume, announced tonight and into Thursday. And other than that, it's just kind of like we're coasting this week through the wrestling world, despite there being a PLE this Saturday.
Do you want to talk about the NBA draft?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
There's not much for me to talk about because I don't really have any NBA intel or information or anything like that.
Okay.
WWE is looking for a vertical video producer, though. If you're looking for a job with WWE, whether or not you get stuck in Qatar, that's another conversation. That's up to your level of work with the company. Who knows who was on that plane or who was going. They made it though. Can't tell you I was surprised that the show's still happening, by the way.
No, definitely not.
Same company that watched an American journalist suffer the fate of murder and said, hey, what do we do? Let's go anyway. Can't tell you I was surprised. I know they're on different planes, this conversation, but still a similar outlook when it comes to whether or not a U.S.-based company should take a flight. When billionaires are given the opportunity to take millions upon millions of dollars, they'll usually take the millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that it's going forward, and I don't really agree with the decision. I think you got to protect your talent and protect yourself in these situations, but they don't want to upset the Saudis and cancel a show. So here we are. We got a show on Saturday.
And it's not going to be much of a show. From a wrestling perspective, I don't really expect much. It's funny because it felt like the AJ Dom match was somehow going to be the quote-unquote wrestling match on the show. Or even the Liv and Io match would have been the wrestling match on the show. And instead, we're getting a very entertainment-y based card going into Saturday. So I don't know what to expect other than if the best match on the card from a wrestling standpoint is Cody versus Randy Orton, then that's saying a lot. That's not a knock at either of those guys, but Cody and Randy are not known for their in-ring prowess at this age. Looking forward to Cena kicking Punk in the dick.
I think that match will be good. I think people might be sleeping a little bit on that match, and I understand why, because Cena ain't really had a whole lot of great matches in this run here. But I think Punk is good on the big stage, and I think Cena will deliver. Now, it could be hurt if they try to go like 30 minutes, because it doesn't need to go 30 minutes. If you give them a good 18 to 20, which should be everybody's wheelhouse anyway, I think we're looking at a good match. I'm not saying it's going to be a great match. I'm not saying it's going to be a classic match, but I think it'll be better than people might expect it to be.
It could be. I also don't know. I just, people in the chat saying, like every PLE, at least with WWE PLEs, there's one particular standout match per card where people say, wow, the wrestling was really great. There's at least every show you can at least pick one match from that. This show has turned into, I wonder what that match will be. I don't know if you're going to see an incredible output from anybody from the moves department, and some people are into that, and I get that. It's not my favorite, but it's like looking at this card, it's like feels like we're doing a lot of similar workings, similar work rate. Maybe it's gonna be strange.
I think Rhea and Raquel, because it has the street fight stipulation, might surprise people.
Of course, they'll beat the shit out of each other.
Match. Yeah.
I mean, Jade and Asuka. It's Jade and Asuka in their final, and like the Jade match from Monday wasn't that great. I forgot who I was listening to, but someone had mentioned, she should have the torture rack as her finish, because she's just like Lex Luger, where you would see Lex would have like these great matches, and then 2 matches later have a shit match. And it's almost the same situation with Jade. She'll have a great match here, and then she'll have a not so great match. And it's frustrating because she's highly touted. She's got Roxanne, who helped train her when she made the jump to WWE. And there was something missing on Monday night. And just the finish was messy. I don't know what to expect with Asuka, because Asuka can be an all over the place wrestler in a good way. I mean, like she can go fast. She doesn't like to go super slow when she doesn't have to. So I'm curious as to how that match looks. In my eyes, it's still I feel like Asuka should win that match, but I'm not 100% on Asuka. But if it's Asuka and Io, that's the match I would pick over the other option.
I think it might be Jade, so they can set up the Naomi cash in.
But the problem with that is, on the other hand, you've got Seth basically planning the same idea.
Is Seth gonna do it at SummerSlam though? I don't know what Seth is planning.
It's still the same concept though, where Naomi's like, anytime any play, like I get it, that's the nature of Money in the Bank, but they're almost planning it the same way. I'm going to cash in on my enemy. I'm going to cash in on someone I don't like. He's not talking about Gunther as much. He's like, he wants the World Heavyweight Championship that he used to have, but really he's talking about like going after John Cena, one of his rivals from 2015, from almost 10 years ago. So the stories of why the Money in the Bank briefcase holders are doing what they're doing, they're basically running the same play. So to do it at Saudi and then to do it at SummerSlam, or have one win and then do the cash in at SummerSlam based on the main event, or the women's title match or the men's title match, it feels like you're going down the same path.
It's a 2-night SummerSlam. Just do a back-to-back cash in nights. Do the same thing.
They would do it for the sake of saying first time ever, because if they can run that alarm, they'll ring that bell all day long.
Do one where they cash in after the championship match, and do one where they cash in during the championship match to give them some differentiation there. But you could run back-to-back nights doing the cash in.
It would be very, very funny to watch them do that. I wonder what the fan reaction would be. Would it be, oh my God, we saw something new? Or would it be, oh my God, you can't believe you just did that? That's not creatively bankrupt. I wouldn't go that far, but I'd certainly look at it and say, why? What plans did we blow up to get to this point? because doing something like that, a double cash in, it's not a long-term thing. They've had the briefcases at that point for a month. It's like, what did you change to get here? Because that's the way it feels when Money in the Bank gets cashed in suddenly.
Sorry,
I do agree that Naomi should cash in on John Cena.
We should do that at some point. No, Naomi's got like the razor blades and stuff. I mean, she's threatening John Cena. She should cash in on Gunther. You know, Gunther taking out the Usos. Naomi should feel a type of way about that and cash in on him.
I think John Cena should stay heel until December, till his very, very last match. He still has the title. He's still a bad guy. He's become so money hungry and power hungry with his titles that out comes Naomi, super duper babyface that she will be, and she basically John Cena with the razor blade and ends John Cena's everything. Yeah.
Life. Okay.
Yeah, takes the title, gets that championship gold, and says, "You didn't see that coming." The end, John Cena. And then instead of it saying John Cena in big white letters with the black, it'll just say the end. I feel like the AEW fans would probably get a hint of that. But the point is, it would be very dramatic. And I think people would be all in on that.
I like this idea. You know, I'm all for murder, so I'm a fan of this idea.
Especially retirement murder. It's the best kind of murder. You know they're leaving. You may as well just take out the trash while you're eating it.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating eating trash. I just kind of wanted to, put it out there. Yeah, the ND. Just make it look different. What does the ND mean? Naomi devours. I don't know what that is. We're several minutes in. Go ahead, leave a thumbs up on the video if you haven't already. I'm here personally today, tomorrow, and Friday. What happened to the fireworks? Well, you're getting subliminal messaging. There we go. I'll be here today, tomorrow, and Friday. And while you're leaving a thumbs up, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel, get in on it, because that's the best part. And you can donate a super chat, an email, get your question or your statement read on the air. Tony P kicks us off saying, so you think WWE has oversaturated this TNA relationship? Doesn't feel special anymore, and it feels like a sister show to NXT at this point. This is a loaded question. Especially to a guy who covers TNA. The announcement that Joe Hendry will be getting the title shot at Slammiversary. Cover your ears if you don't want spoilers, although it's pretty obvious what's going to happen. 3, 2, 1. It's a triple threat. Mike Santana's going to get in on that too. It's a triple threat. You can uncover your ears now. I wasn't a big fan of them announcing it as Hendry gets his automatic rematch. Thought we got rid of those, but I guess that's only in WWE because they're different companies. Last night, they opened up a Trick versus Josh Briggs. I have to give it to Josh Briggs. I thought the match was actually quite good. The finish was fun. I thought that it was a well-done match, and I think that it helped Briggs in his own career, in his own singles career. That being said, I didn't like the idea that Inamura basically gifted his title shot to his tag team partner, because that's not something that anyone does. And it made the TNA title feel less than. Because Inamura's like, no, I want the NXT title, not the stupid TNA title. That part annoyed me. I don't think that there's oversaturation in the way that WWE talent are going over to TNA, or NXT talent are going to TNA, because TNA can make use of the NXT talent that go there in terms of output, opportunity, and just eyes on the product. That being said, there is a boiling point that you have to be careful of. There is a point where if too many people are going after the NXT title or the TNA titles, like if the integration is not about brand supremacy or even just two people who have a problem with each other and it's only about titles, that's going to get in the way. And I'll give them this. The Trick title run, as short as it's been so far, it's worked in that Trick is getting booed where he needs to. Booker T is still being an obnoxious prick when he does the entrance. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but regardless, it's working for Trick. So I don't know. I'm in the middle of it. They've done some things that I like. They've done some things that I don't like. I'm curious about your opinion on this too.
And Joe Hendry didn't get much of a reaction last night, did he?
Well, Mr. Iguana wasn't there to partner up with him, so that's, part of the reason why. Joe's also, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you with Joe because there was, do I still have it or did I delete it? Because I made the Mr. Iguana reference, right? This was something. This was a meme that went around when Mr. Iguana became a thing, and it's apt. And Joe's got a place on WWE roster, but he's got to really prove that he is more than what he's been shown as. You can tell he's trying with the trick stuff, but yeah, he's got to become more than just guy who plays guitar and has a cool theme. There's got to be more to it, and wears the same Scottish flag gear all the time.
I think it's being designed what it was, it's being utilized of how it was designed to be utilized, and that is NXT is going to get the more benefit out of all of this because they're going to have their talent put in a better position than the TNA talent. The TNA talent show up, get some extra exposure from NXT. Hopefully it helps with ratings and attendance and all that. And it seems like it's done well there. They've done different stuff with how you can watch TNA, and I don't know if you watched the live stream on Friday, but you basically got to see all of Impact before it airs tomorrow. They're airing tomorrow on YouTube for free. Go ahead.
I couldn't watch it.
Oh.
I for whatever reason, maybe because I'm in Canada, maybe I was geo-blocked, I couldn't get in, and I tweeted it out, and people were like, I'm having no problem. I have to assume that Canada was geo-blocked because, like you were about to say, they're putting the whole show on YouTube tomorrow, and I can't watch it in Canada because there's the deal with Rogers Sportsnet, which that's a whole other can of worms. But go ahead.
So they're doing stuff like that to try to gain more exposure and hoping that helps in some way. I made the joke when the partnership was first announced, they're going to leverage TNA into a better TV deal, and they're going to put this show on Wednesdays. And I'm still of that belief, is they're going to get TNA a better TV deal. I don't know what that TV deal is, but it's going to be better than Access. And they're going to move the show to Wednesdays. Maybe they keep it on Thursdays now because Collision might end up on Thursdays sooner rather than later, but I think that's WWE's true end game out of all of this, is how can we use TNA as a Dean Ambrose against AEW.
And yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely, how can we leverage our partners to cause harm to our competitors? It makes sense. And I've never been one to say that's not what's going on. I've always, like many, been the one to say they're not trying to buy TNA because of the antitrust lawsuits, because they need to show that they can play ball before they talk about acquisitions. So the TNA is kind of in this place where it's like, oh, we're so happy we're doing this partnership because it's more eyes on us, but also they're kind of at the beck and call of some of WWE's expectations. Will they help them find a TV deal? Yes. Is that advantageous for TNA? Yes. Is that long-term advantageous for TNA? Not necessarily, because if you're like me and you think that everyone who does something for you ends with a favor being needed down the road, so you try not to grant too many favors, then I just let myself in a little bit too much. But the point is, you don't necessarily think that TNA is going to come out as a winner long-term out of this. They're also the cockroaches of professional wrestling. They continue to exist, for better or worse. And they found themselves in a position where WWE has this partnership with them. They're looking to build them up in certain ways that they haven't seen before, they haven't experienced in over 15 years at this point. I'm curiously nervous about what TNA will be in the next 3 to 5 years. Slammiversary tickets are what they are right now. They're under 5,000 still. I saw Romy Glazer, who used to be the part of the marketing department for Anthem. She's still talking about how the rollout for the marketing plan for Slammiversary is still kind of in its last couple of months. And then, of course, the day after she posts that, they show the Hardys doing the NYC, the subway in New York. And she's like, well, it looks like things are still on track. And she's right. Like, again, there are certain things that we are not privy to because we're not the project managers. We're not the ones in the rooms talking about what the expectations are for certain events or certain activations. So, like, clearly there are things happening that have been planned out. It's not like they just showed up on the subway with a camera and filmed the Hardy Boys. No, there was planning put into this, months of it. But that being said, the Slammiversary card as it stands right now, and I'm not going to spoil that because, again, I want TNA fans who want to watch it organically and talk about it with us on Thursdays on the post show to have that opportunity to think about it. The Slammiversary card as it stands now is a very hit or miss grouping of matches, and I'll leave it at that. Certain things are going to be for certain people, but overall, you can tell that there's at least some sort of WWE influence. But yeah. Oh, and then the last thing was you mentioned they're going to do TNA on YouTube for free this Thursday. It's nice that TNA finally got the memo that Collision is airing on some Thursdays and that TNA Plus and Access are not exactly like blow out of the way options for watching TNA. It's good that they're leveraging YouTube again. Financially, it doesn't do much for TNA. Eyes on product, it does more. The other thing is ROH didn't move this week, and they've got a big special that they're touting, right? The Global Wars show. Normally, when Collision would run on a Thursday, they'd put ROH on a Friday. So they're especially running unopposed, I used loosely, because SmackDown is in Riyadh, so they're airing at 1 for international, but people with a VPN or people who just have access can watch the show earlier and therefore not watch at 8 p.m. Eastern. So like they could have run Global Wars and not worried about the SmackDown viewership completely demolishing their viewership. So like I'm curious about where that decision came, that ROH and wasn't going to change their timing, but TNA decided we're going to run technically opposite Collision. Yeah. Or maybe they just thought that after they aired most of their stuff on TNA Plus for free on Friday, that they can just get away with putting Impact wherever and hoping for the best.
I think Collision or ROH, using that as a lead-in was always the smart move. It's just those shows, for some reason, are 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then it's not really a lead-in because you're bleeding into the Collision show. Assuming this is a 1 hour show, they got 4 matches on the show. I don't know if they're going to air the Danielson stuff after Moriarty and Blue Panther. But if they, whether they do or they don't, like it's all runtime. Assuming they can make that show an hour long, yeah, I think it's smart to have that as a lead-in to Collision. I think it was always dumb to move it to a Friday, even though it aired on YouTube for free, but just make the show shorter. I don't need a 90-minute ROH show anyway. Give me a good hour show, lead it into Collision, and go from there on Thursdays, which that's what it seems like they're doing here.
Allegedly, last week's was under an hour, so that made some people happy. I didn't see it because I don't have Honor Club, but yeah, some people were happy about that. Matthew Hook saying, I don't know why people are so convinced TNA will get a TV deal because of WWE. Maybe a DVD deal, but a TV deal because of WWE. It comes because WWE is very well connected in certain places that TNA isn't. And they have certain leverage that they can offer on top of that for companies to find a deal with TNA. They can guide them. They can be mentors to finding a deal.
Oh, I'm not convinced they are. Honestly, I'm not. I think that's the hope by all parties, is that is how it plays out. But I'm not actually convinced that's how it's going to play out, honestly, because it's not this thing of, oh yeah, they'll easily get it because they have WWE backing or whatever. Like, TNA has existed as TNA for years now, and look where they've been at with television. Like ever since Spike, they've gotten no good television deal. Why am I going to be convinced that just because you have a couple of NXT people on your show every single week, like now it's going to change things? Because it's still TNA. The provider who might get TNA, they're not paying for WWE, they're paying for TNA, and I don't think they're going to pay a whole lot for TNA. I mean, AEW's got a good deal, but AEW even struggling in certain aspects of, we thought that the whole Shockwave thing, remember that? We thought Fox Sports, remember that? Like that never came to fruition. They even cut back on Rampage. They had to cut out Rampage and just go to Dynamite and Collision. So even AEW, I'm not saying like they're struggling to get like they got a really good TV deal out of everything, but what the talks were with AEW and where they actually landed, like people thought it was going to be more programming, more shows, more networks, and that hasn't come to fruition yet. And I don't know if it will. So why are these companies or networks going to spend on a third-rate wrestling promotion? I'm not saying TNA is like fully third-rate, but they are the third company. That's what I'm trying to convey there. They're the third company. Why are they going to spend on the third company when WWE is already on 3 different platforms / networks with their 3 different brands? AEW is on technically 2 different networks, all in the same banner, but still 2 different networks, and they're the second company. What's that network or platform willing to spend on the third company? And I don't know if they're out there, because they weren't willing to spend on TNA when they were the second company. So why am I going to think that now some network or platform's willing to spend when they are the third company, just because you might see people from WWE's third brand every once in a while on the show? But I'm not convinced that WWE is going to be able to help them get a television deal. I do think that is part of the play is all.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a mentorship. It's not a we are going to get you the deal. It's we are going to coach you on the potential of the deals that you can get. And they are number 3. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. They're a distant third, and that's okay. I think a lot of
they're second if you see the fans online who say, "Wow, look at this, 4,000 people, AEW in the mud."
It's very funny as you say that. I was about to say there are some fans who will feel differently, and we have to, not we, but I think there are certain fans that really need to understand. Listen, if it's number 2 in your heart, great. If you want to talk from a financial and realistic point of view, they're third. I mean, maybe you can argue fourth, but then who's number 3? MLW?
Yeah, who's number 3 if they're fourth? Like,
because MLW. Here's the thing, you can put TNA, MLW, GCW, New Japan. Okay, yes. New Japan is its weird own entity because of how we perceive it in the West, right? Matthew saying, the third rate is MLW, GCW, TNA. Yes, and the only reason TNA gets an advantage is because they have a TV deal. And granted, the TV deal is with their own ownership, but it's a TV deal nonetheless. They are airing weekly episodic content on a television show and on their streaming platform. And like Kate's mentioning, New Japan is not weekly episodic as well. That's another addition to this. So again, it's not 1 or 2. We can leave it at that. But where you rank it is completely your own, taste for wrestling. From a financial standpoint, yeah, it's third.
Yeah,
a distant third.
Yeah, I'm not counting New Japan because they're not an American company. They run their one-off shows. Those shows do well. they have AEW support on a lot of those shows, but they aren't, they're not weekly television or running even monthly shows, which would be a different beast than just running quarterly shows. So I'm not going to count New Japan. Yeah, MLW, GCW, they're in a better position than those two companies. But those two companies have just as dedicated fan bases, honestly. Like, they do. They draw just as well running a similar amount of shows. GCW draws well with the shows that they do. MLW draws well with the shows that they do. MLW's on YouTube the same way TNA is starting to become on YouTube. I think TNA's ahead of them. But like Joel said, they're kind of only ahead of them because they run weekly television. And that's why they're ahead. And if they didn't, then they'd be in a similar boat.
Yeah. So we all agree TNA is like 8th. Thank you, Pal Driver. Ryan saying, does my local indie that airs on public access count? Listen, you show me their finances, they can count. Greektown Wrestling is one of the promotions that I talk about here, and they run every other month. They bring in well-known talent. They've got an entire like GCW-esque lineup coming in on their next show in August. It's like Janela's their champion, which just happened a month ago, and they're bringing in like Megan Bain, the Kogars, like Effie's coming back. They're doing a whole GCW Greektown crossover, it feels. But they're on Triller Plus as long as Triller Plus still exists. So yeah, TNA, again, by virtue of their own TV deal with their own company, they hit third because they're weekly episodic and they keep doing the story. On the traditional North American presentation of wrestling, TNA ranks third, and which is a lot of clarifiers to get there. But again, some fans will see it differently, and that's okay. But from a financial standpoint, they're sitting third. NWA's got that Roku channel. That's right. They're gonna sprint to number 1 before you know it.
Yeah.
They're taking it back. Just ask William Patrick Corgan. Taking what back? I don't know. That's just what Billy thinks.
They need to take the drugs back.
It's gonna win them back the show. And the fans. I mean, the fans won't be able to, like Narcotics Wrestling Alliance, it works.
A competition with Ring of Hallucinations, if that's where the direction they go.
That's fine.
We'd partner with NWA.
There you go.
Yeah.
The ill-fated NWA ROH tag team show that goes under because you spent all the money on drugs before you started. Got a huge deal and just blew it all on drugs.
We don't get high on our own supply, Joel.
I thought that was the whole point of the show.
No,
At least
we give it to the fans.
NWA gives it to each other because they're not competing for belts. They're competing for,
No, we give it to the fans. We give back. We sell it to the fans sometimes,
So it's not a hard sell.
We got Pusha T doing all the music. Pusha T and Malice doing all the music for the show. We're willing to spend some money. And yeah, all the free packet of the ROH magic underneath your seat. That's it. The
true magic is under the seat.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, what are you talking about? Like, look under the seat. And they're like, oh.
You take that pill. It'll be okay.
You just
we got
play
Ubers
music
for everyone. We're making sure we got everybody taken care of. We're not gonna let you go out there and drive after you witness the greatest wrestling show of all time in the state of mind that you're gonna be in. We're gonna make sure you get home safely too.
What's the name of these self-driving cars that they have now? Waymos? We got Waymos for everyone on the West Coast. Yeah, it's a thing. I tried to do it in Vegas, but they're not in Vegas yet. They're in like 3 different cities. They're 3 different states. I think they're California, Arizona, and somewhere else. The Uber drivers aren't happy about it. Weedmos. That's the one. Yeah, that's what you do. And also, I appreciate that there's a commitment to keeping the fan base safe.
Self-driving cars sounds terrible.
It does, but I wanted to try it.
I've seen like the that gimmick, and I don't know if I could do it. I'd be too worried about what it does.
Ryan saying Waymo smelling sex and BO. I'm not surprised. I'm really not. It's like, oh, we can do whatever we want. It's like, well, I mean, you shouldn't, but you can. There are still cameras. That's right. Reg did a music video in a Waymo. That's right. I forgot about that. Good for Reg. I wonder what that experience was like. I'm sure he talked about it. I wonder what Waymo thinks if they ever saw it. They're like, is this good promotion or bad? Depends. Did Reg light up in there? Because I don't know how Waymo would feel about that, but I don't think he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. I'm not Reg's creative director.
I assume Reg showed up in the state. He didn't need to light up in there.
It'd be funnier. It's like, I'm supposed to get in that? Where's the driver? Who's driving? No one. What? And he just goes through with it.
I'd be
he has no idea that there was no driver.
Yeah, I'd be way too scared if I was like high getting in one of those things. But like, holy, it's driving itself. Like what? I got to get to the front and drive this thing. Yeah.
How am I going to do that?
And I'd be way too worried of how is this thing driving and I'm not doing anything. Real hallucination there. Now we're not doing Waymos for people. I feel like that'd be too expensive. We're gonna pay the Ubers out there.
Yeah, but you got to tip the drivers too, so it might end up costing about the same.
No, again, but people are getting paid though. You know, we're about supporting the people out there, not the AI. We don't support.
That is true.
The only AI we support is Allen Iverson.
Let me guess. I mean, he signed off on the shoes, didn't he?
But what are you hating on the Allen Iverson for?
I don't know. I don't know him. I'm not gonna go for people I don't know. I don't know that man. For all I know, he's gonna show up on the stream and be the nicest guy in the world. For all I know, he's gonna show up and be the worst possible human being you've ever met or never met.
I have talked to Allen Iverson one time at a press conference. It was when the Big Three first started. Not that's Ice Cube's league, the Big Three, and Allen Iverson was part of it. I think he played like legitimately 2 games. I think he realized I don't know about this. Although it seems to do well now. It seems to find it's a niche out there for basketball fans. But Allen Iverson was part of the press conference, and I asked him a question. It was the most generic, like, how are you feeling type deal. That's my only interaction with Allen Iverson. He walked into the press room, and he said nice things to everybody. He's like, hey, guys, thanks for being here. And I asked him how he's feeling. And he's like, I'm doing well, getting back out there. It was fun. Feel a little sore. It's been a while. That's my only interaction with Allen Iverson, everybody. But I can say I interacted with Allen Iverson.
Listen, in a press setting, people I've interacted with, they're usually very nice. I want to get them in those non-settings. I want to get them in the rooms just when they're doing their thing, when they're just hanging out. Those are the people I want, so that I can really tell you about it. I heard that AI intro to Jordan's theme earlier. Yeah,
that theme sucks.
It's bad, but you got to vibe. You got to vibe with it. Just let it go. That's the tell-all that Jordan's like, I don't know how I feel about this.
I was watching the show last night, and I knew Jordynne was coming out because the other 3 had already come out, and I knew who the last competitor was. And it came on, and that weird intro, I don't even know what they say.
Isn't it like it's now or never or something like that?
It's like, I don't know. Somebody in the chat will know it.
I'm gonna pull it up on Netflix.
All right.
From last night.
It's like it's something about like a time limit. Like I'll beat you if I only lose if time runs. I don't know. It's so weird.
I only lose if time runs out.
Yeah, and legitimately, that's what it is. I'm not joking.
I know, that's the problem. Oh, man. Okay, here it is. Is it July 22nd? No. What is
July?
This?
You've jumped
they have shows all the way up to, for some reason, July 22nd.
Time traveling.
That's what it says on Netflix. All right, let's go back. They did the intros like way early too, and then they did like a bunch of backstage segments.
Well, Jordynne came out last though.
Did she? Yeah.
Yeah. It was Jordynne came out, and then they went to the match.
Right. Also, did they change Lash's theme again? She had a rap theme last week, and now it's changed. I think it changed again.
I haven't paid enough attention to Lash's theme.
Okay, here it is. I don't know if you can get my. I don't know if you get the audio when I press play. Here we go. You hear this?
No.
Okay, let's see. This is Lash. Come on, Lash. Okay. It's not over until I win.
Yeah, see? I told you something about like time limits.
It's not about weight limits. It's about no limits. That's what she should come out to. That Lash one is just, they changed it. It used to have lyrics. Now it's just like a repeating beat and it just goes, get it, girl. Yeah, the Lash, I think last week's Lash theme was better than whatever they did this week. It was not great, but it's awful.
It's not over until I win. What a stupid saying. Like,
yeah, like that's controlling your narrative. Matthew,
that's so dumb. That's such a dumb catchphrase before the beginning of a theme. It's so stupid.
So Zeno Hour is asking, why didn't they just remove the sirens from Jordynne's original theme? It was twofold. There was the sirens because of the presentation for Braun Breaker, but it was also WWE's kind of moving back towards we want to own as much IP as we can, and Jordynne owns her theme. So if it seems like what WWE wanted was not just to change the theme because of the sirens, but they also wanted to get their own theme on her. It's not great. It's not good at all.
They should just have a different siren, right?
No, they don't even need the siren. Like, this was something I was thinking about was, yes, she did Thick Mama Pump, but she did that when she was in TNA doing stuff with Scott, and that was 5 to 8 years ago. No, it's not 5 to 8 years ago. It was 5 years ago at the most. So like, it just didn't need to be that way.
But they should make it like a hurricane siren, like cranks up and then goes into it instead of an ambulance siren. That way it's not fully what Braun Breaker has. It's a little bit different. Just change the siren up. Whatever you do, don't make it it's not over until I win. That's dumb. That's a stupid catchphrase. And she even said that? Like, she doesn't even say that.
She's never said that.
Is she gonna have to start saying this now?
I hope not. I hope she says it like her theme music. It's not over till I win. Like, she's got to change her entire voice, just modulate it completely. I do like Perry Saturn's old WCW theme. Not just the sirens. You can remove the sirens, but the theme itself, and I'm sure it's like a stock Warner theme that they probably own or at least have access to. I don't know. It's not good. There was a time when wrestlers going through the PC, so like it's not really that long ago, like upwards of 10 years ago, they could go through the theme library and pick their theme, or at least have some sort of like influence or at least some sort of say on the style of theme that they wanted. I don't know if Jordynne had any say in this one. I don't know. It's not good. This particular theme is especially bad. I thought the first week I was like, okay, it's okay. And then this week, adding that tag on it it just made it glaringly bad.
All right, I'm with Ken. Is that the match doesn't end until Jordynne wins. Like, even if she loses. Like, nope, the match is not over until I win. That's how it should go.
Redmond Survivor saying, I hope they keep adding to it and the theme turns her heel. I would like for her to turn heel because of the theme, and then adding to Ken's point, she becomes a heel who says it's not over until I win, and they just keep changing the rules of the match. She keeps losing. They're like, pinfall. Okay, no pinfalls. She submits. No submissions. Like, we do that trope. Yeah, unbeatable Jordynne Grace.
Yeah.
And then she wears a turtle shell on her back, and then she can't be pinned because there's. Do you not remember the Turtles gimmick? The wrestling turtles, they couldn't get pinned because their shoulders can't be pinned to the mat.
No, this rules.
So that was a what's his name? That was a Bruce thing. He used to tell this story all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, they had turtle wrestlers, and you couldn't pin them. You can pin them now because you could do like a roll up or like a
submission.
You could do a submission, although you had to get over their backs depending on the submission. Like there are ways to do it, but you couldn't pin them because their shells would keep them from having their shoulders pinned on the mat, unless you did like a roll up or a La Maestral or whatever, one of those. Yeah, Bill Hurt may have suggested it, but I've heard Bruce Pritchard talk about it multiple times.
I like this turtle gimmick. I'm all for this. I'm gonna have 4 of them, and they're gonna wear different colors, and they might be mutant kind of turtles. I feel like this is a good idea.
The Strange but True Story of Gillberg and the Wrestling Turtles from WWE.com. WWE.com staffers were shell-shocked a few months back when a photo editor looking for images of Sheamus and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles out of the shadows stumbled upon some very strange photos of what appeared to be 2 grown men in turtle costumes competing inside a WWE ring in the early 90s. Digging a little deeper, we discovered that one of the reptiles was none other than Dwayne Gillberg Gill. Astounded by this chain of events, WWE.com gave Gillberg a call to get the full scoop on the battling turtles out of the shadows. What's going on there? He asked. He said, I used to do anything I could to wrestle, and I mean anything, says Dwayne Gill. I didn't care. I had the outfits made because I was trying to find different ways to work more. Barry Hardy and I competed as the Executioners. We also did Barry Hardy and Dwayne Gill, so we could work a whole bunch. Then I said, let's get these outfits made, and maybe we'll get a job like that. So they basically tell the whole story of being turtles, but the shells aren't nearly as pronounced. Go ahead. It's on WWE.com. It does exist. But they basically look like Ninja Turtles.
I'm for it.
They call them the Battling Turtles.
The Battling Turtles. Okay, yeah, we're doing this for Ring of Hallucinations. We're gonna have turtles, and we're gonna have penguins and rhinos. Just a bunch of animals running around there. We're gonna have a zoo fight. Kevin Owens is gonna be there. He's a zoo enthusiast.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be there as well. He's gonna be the moderator at the zoo. He's gonna be the tour guide at the zoo. And in here, you see everybody battling against each other. That's what we're doing with Ring of Hallucinations.
How was it wrestling in the suits? Dwayne Gill says, hot. Oh my God. After you wrestled one match inside of them, you had to wash them. We were soaked. Did you ever get further use of the suits? Yes. I won many Halloween costume contests with those things. It's from 2016 over on WWE.com. There we go. So there's your answer, kids. Put on a Turtles costume and become a wrestler. It'll work for everyone.
I respect it.
Speaking of, I got nothing. Cam's here. Hi, Cam.
I was like, you better not call me a turtle. What's wrong with you?
Nah, because then someone will be like, is that racist? I'll be like, how could it be racist? And then someone will pull up like 20 different ways in which my dumbass could have been racist in that comment.
It's funny. So who is it? It's Neo, Jadakiss, Charlemagne the God, and the actor Steve Harris. They say they look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they're all bald with a specific head. So, yeah, thank you for not going there. I appreciate it.
You'll appreciate this one. I saw the photo of the new Washington Wizards, and it's Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum, and Marcus Smart, and somebody's like, they look like a R&B group who lost all their money and now they got a tour in 2025.
They look like
that's
Tyrese and Genuine and Tank together. They really do. It is not there's 3 guys who never really found their haircut, and that ages you so much. So hey, I didn't want to take up a lot of you guys' time. Again, and also Jeremy, you're that guy now? You're the Still Champs guy? Still Champs.
The titles forever. The banners forever.
The banners forever.
Until the start of next season. Still the champs.
Until you the champs until you out the playoffs. You are the champs until But again, this Saturday, Charlotte, North Carolina, Ashe Wrestling, Return of the King, Sid Alexander. Ashe Men's Championship match. Darius Carter defended against Darius Lockhart. Ashe Women's Champion, the first ever, will be crowned. Jazz will be there. It'll be a very fun show. AsheWrestling.com. You can order that and watch that. But hey, it's actually a very special day, right?
It's the NBA draft, yes.
The New York Order.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Simon and Schuster, my dogs. My man Mark Raimondi, his first book. He works over at ESPN. Been working on this for a while, about 300 pages. Say hello to the bad guys. How professional wrestling's New World Order changed America. Man, salute to the brother. This is out today. You can get that wherever you get books. Love the hard work that goes to that. He's been at ESPN on the MMA side for a while. Again, first book.
He's covering the Falcons now.
Yeah. Switch it up. Yeah. So shout out to Mark, man. Good dude. I know him and Denise. They did a thing last night, right? In California?
Yeah,
man. So salute to him for that, man. It's I think it's the thing that we all in that lane kind of want to do. I love that he got to write a book about like this thing, because who doesn't? Because we all love this thing in particular, like WWE great, WCW great, blah, 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 blah. The NWO specifically is such a fun thing in time and touches on so many different eras and so many different personalities and all that kind of stuff. So salute to him for making it happen, man. I hope when I write my book about what are we writing about? A book about
turtle wrestlers.
I don't know. I hope that I have the same wherewithal and support and the energy to not only write it, but to kind of go through this whole process. So salute to the brother Mark, man. I love this for him. I love that it's happening. I love that he thought of me and shot me an early copy. So we're going to dive into that, right, Boost? Yeah. But hey, how are you guys?
You know.
I've been like, I don't know if I've always followed Joel on Instagram. You're so whimsical. You're just like having
whimsical.
He's whimsical. He just has these little fun moments, and he makes these little faces, and he's great. I love it.
I treat my socials in a weird way. So for some reason, people in the wrestling media sphere have started adding me on Facebook. Don't, by the way. First of all, I never post on there. Second of all, like the people that I have on there are from a very specific time in my life, like growing up. They're school friends. They're some people I worked with at different jobs, things like that. And then Twitter is my mostly wrestling stuff. There are some people from other worlds that follow me there, like music and wrestling. My Instagram is literally just like a mishmash of people, and I don't talk about wrestling on it. I post photos that make no sense. Like, I don't care. And when I post a story, so yesterday it was me doing that stupid fan thing. That's because my kid made a fan at daycare, brought it home, and I was just playing with him on the floor. And I don't put my kid on socials at all. So I just took the fan and I was like, I'm going to do a stupid Southern gentleman doing I Do Declare. And someone just followed me on Instagram. Thanks for that. So the point is, it's all silly stuff. And my profile's public. But yes, I just don't care. I just put stuff out there when I want to.
I don't follow anybody on Instagram. I don't use Instagram. I probably have Instagram messages that I need to check of wrestlers I reached out to try to set up interviews and then never got back to them because I didn't check Instagram.
I've made that same mistake. Speaking of which, I should probably edit and put up that one interview that I did last month. It's fine. They're going to be part of the New Japan Dojo show on the 5th, so we'll release it based on that timing, even though we barely talked about it because it wasn't out there yet. I don't think she knew she was on that card. Anyway, point is, it'll come. I promise. But yes, Cam, how are you doing?
I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
Did that one person you told to go find a library find a library?
Yo, it's crazy because we're actually having the conversation at work right now at the college. It is. I went to a barbecue on Monday, and these two young ladies are there, and there, whenever you go to a barbecue, I feel like, and there's a little alcohol involved, it devolves into like dating. And somehow that turned into making Bumble profiles. And as they're making the profiles, they're asking Chat GPT to help them fill out the dating profile. And I was like, please turn that shit off. I will help you through this. We will come up with all kinds of words and terminologies and make you sound clever. We'll lie, but please turn that shit off. No, Joel. And of course, somebody just said, the better question is, why does it upset you if it doesn't affect you? It does. It affects me on like an intellectual level, a physical level, like a societal level. Like it's actually, these things are actually bad. And bad in the sense of like, who was on here? Was it Zarian who was on here? Again, you were singing the woes of this last week.
Yeah.
Like, Mark, shout out to Mark. Like, I think about the time and energy that went into this. All the people he had to reach out to, the stuff he had to confirm and reconfirm. Just a lot goes into doing something at that level. Like, and just the idea that I can just whip this up through no actual work of my own by putting ideas into something. It's not only lazy, it's not only dishonest, like you're not actually producing anything worthwhile. You're not making a thing. And people were all saying, I just use it for this and I just use it for this. I use it to ask. I don't use it to like make a rocket. I'm using it to ask what I should do in Animal Crossing. Why don't you go play the fucking game? That's how you find out how to do stuff. Or there's people who have poured like hours and hours into these FAQs or made videos. Like people have actually done the work that you want to do. Like, why not support the person next to you who's also interested in the thing? Who painstakingly went through this and will give you actual answers and information other than like, again, a rough idea of the thing. Like it's woo. One thing that's tough about being 40 or close to it is you lived through all the technologies. And you can even put it on the level of like video games. I was too young to have a Nintendo, but my cousin a few years older had a Nintendo. But I had a Super Nintendo, but I had an N64, but I had OG Xbox, but I had 360, but I had PC, but I had Switch. Like, so going, and even like the cell phones, going from the Nokia brick to the HTC Evo on into the iPhones. Like I experienced all that, but as you go through it, I used microfiche. And I thought it was the dopest shit that's ever been made. Like, you put a whole news article on a little clip, and I can just zoom in on it, I can see anything. This is amazing. I had to research things. And then, I have friends who are teachers and professors and just lament at the idea that nobody's interested in learning anything. They just want to get through it. And then they come out here into the real world and can't do anything themselves. No, yes, it does affect me. I had, and this is slightly off topic. I know my students waiting on me. Let me see if they showed up. It's slightly off topic, but I remember I was living in a suburb not too far from here. And the suburb did not want to pay the school I work for taxes to build a building in our suburb. And their thing was, that's going to cost me like, I don't know, $100 or $200 extra dollars a year. It's not going to be a full campus. It's just a building. But my thing was, I understand what you're saying, but now your children will get to pay in-district tuition to go to the school for as long as they want. In-district tuition is $85 per credit hour. Most classes are 3 credit hours. So you're paying like $250 for a class. So making the math rough, if you need 20 classes to complete an associate's, that's what? 10 would be, it's like 5,000. Does that sound right?
Oh, don't ask me math.
I'm not a mathematician. I talk about
$250 a class. 20 classes is an associate, so roughly $5,000, give or take. to complete half of your bachelor's. And they were like, no, they're not going to give us a full school. So what we're going to do is we'd rather our kids pay $363 per credit hour. So $1,000 per class, and go figure it out. And so it's like, oh, so you don't want your doctors and your lawyers and I don't know, your police, if you like police, and your firefighters and your teachers to actually learn here and to want to build here. You want them to go out and not come back. So you have to outsource everything. That makes sense to you. But it was just to cut that little corner of, I don't want to pay a couple extra $100 a year. It's just, so you'd rather, as opposed to doing a little research, finding out how things actually work so that can help you going forward in life, so that you know how to get information, you'd rather cut that corner and make a dust cloud over somebody's city. Yeah. And then I called somebody stupid, and he was like, they dissed me via ChatGPT for like 8 paragraphs. And it was like, you could look at it and tell it wasn't that guy. And it was like, yo, this is like, you're going out of your way to be an idiot. Now, listen, the education system promotes laziness. The education system nowadays is built on the idea of the standardized test, and that helping with like allocation of funds and things like that. So it's not that it's built on laziness. It's like the wire. The system itself is built on stats and numbers. And so to answer those numbers, you have to go about it a certain way. But when you get to college, it's not built on that, because colleges are run by very smart assholes who had to go and get it themselves. And so they want you to go and get it, for better or worse. But yeah. And yeah, I fell for it. That happened.
It did. But it's come. So this is because Vala, for the audio.
She made the video?
Vala mentioned the AI Zoe Stark video. Did she make another one?
She made the video of her watching the video?
Oh, that's funny. And
she made another. Yeah, she did make another video. I don't know if she made a video of her watching the video, but she made a video like of commenting on the video.
I think she had the phone in her hand with it playing while she did it.
Yeah, that would make sense, honestly.
There have been a few YouTubers that I've seen who have recreated themselves in using AI and sending it to other YouTubers and being like, I'm going to blind send them these things and say, I want you to look at this video and tell me what you think, right? Blind react to it. And Austin Evans was one who just did one, and he put it together and it looks disturbingly accurate. And that's what we're moving towards at an incredible pace. And again, we talked about this with Zarian, like the changes over time have been astronomical. They have done some incredible things on the AI development, and there is a benefit to some of this, but it is not being used currently in a way that can be seen as such. And that's what's frustrating. And you want to see technology develop and you want to see it better people's lives, but it's not bettering does not mean making people lazier. It's supposed to be helpful. It's not supposed to be we cut corners, like you were saying, Cam. Like, we're not here to do that. We're here to find answers to questions that we don't have, and we're trying to use a computer in tandem to help us discover those answers. But they're not there to answer the questions for you. And that is the most frustrating part. I was when I mentioned on the show a few weeks ago that I was doing work at the library, and I think it was Kimmy was on the show, and she's like, people still go to the library. I'm like, yes, people still go to the library. What's unfortunate is that in Toronto's world, the Toronto Public Library has unfortunately become a support base for people who are dealing with homelessness. And it's become a different service than it is supposed to be, which is, it's in the name, it's a library. You could argue at one point it was supposed to be social function as well, and there is, but it's become more social function than or social service than it's become a library. Regardless, people still use the library. People still use it, and there is that bastion of hope that not everyone is turning to just using ChatGPT and Grok and all that. And there are places for these things, but for everything, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can still use your brain, I promise. You might even get better with your brain if you just try to use it.
I've never
gorilla,
once
man.
used
You seen a damn gorilla?
ChatGPT.
They got a gorilla running around like he's in a video game, like talking to people and hosting things. Is really weird. And then the thing you always have to be careful of with things like AI. Who's programming it and who's curating it? There's that video of the black girl who's AI.
And she's in bed.
A boneless chicken leg in one bite.
Oh, it's a different one.
And it's just like, they're trying to get us, man. There's no other way around it. Like, why is the most definitive, confusing, like subterfuge-esque AI right now, like young black girls on video smiling? Like, why is that the case? Because we're not programming that. Like, it's all very seedy and there's an air of like evil to it. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it a lot. It's weird. Like, whenever stuff like this happens, like there's like a little silver lining. I don't know if you guys saw, but like Lyric just got hired at SI, right? Yeah. And that's going to definitely like shoot up the quality of work at SI. They're not doing good work. You know, John Alba's over there, my man Goober's over there. But it's like, okay, an outlet that's really gaining traction like on their own. Again, this SI vertical, not SI as an institution. But okay, you got somebody here of a high quality who's going to do good work. Great. But man, for every person that gets that opportunity, 5 more people are getting paid per click to put out nothing. And if you get paid per click to put out nothing and nobody's really having any checks and balances, how are you going to put out that nothing? Slap some names in the air. Yeah.
Zeno, I was saying I used ChatGPT to generate some code. The results were mixed. Some of it worked, some of the rest, yikes. And that's kind of it, is if you are using it, it is a prompt. It is not the answer. It is something that you go and you revise and you work on, because it is not the answer to your question. It is the beginning of your research. It is the conglomeration, if you will, to what you're looking for. It is not the final product. It is not the finished event. Use it smart.
Just that, man. So listen, man, we start getting AI wrestling matches.
No, it's out there. That shit's out there already. It's weird, and it's gross, and it's not good. And they're using like giant, gorilla versus Tony Deppen looking guys. And it's not a knock at Tony Deppen, but it's like people who have looked like Tony Deppen. And I'm like, all right, this is stupid. And I won't click on it. I'm just like, I can't do this stuff.
Yeah. It is. It's dark days, man. It is dark days. And listen, I have to be more responsible and be about the things I see. But a lot of my independent wrestling friends, a lot of studio. What is it, Studio Ghibli?
Yeah, I've mentioned Romy, who used to work at TNA, used to work at Anthem. That was something that she did with the TNA wrestlers too. She did the Studio Ghibli stuff. I didn't say anything at the time. This is me saying it now. I thought that was, I understood you were getting on something very popular, but also it was like, please don't. But again, when I see that stuff, it's like, what are we doing? Like,
it's rough, man. It's rough. And I'm like, and I've always been like this, and that's why I don't have a mansion. But I'll be like, yo, you don't have to do that. Like, here's $50. Pay somebody to do that for you. Like, it's, and the worst part about it is like, it's stripping the talent of their individuality too, because you're making stuff that looks like everybody else. It's the black t-shirt. You know, how do you stand out when you're just doing what everybody else does? These shortcuts, man. Not everybody has, and the biggest argument that I've seen is, well, people don't want to get left behind and they want to be a part of conversations that they haven't been in. Like, you, every time you see an inside joke, it's like, Grok, what does this mean? Get friends.
That's what it should regurgitate. It should just say it means get some friends.
Get some friends.
You know, eventually it's going to regurgitate, in the words of Cam Hawkins at Seahawk, get some bitches, and everyone's going to be like, ha, 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 ha.
I don't know anybody with bitches using ChatGPT because they got bitches.
Hey.
I mean, and look what Matthew's saying. Like, as a voice actor, AI is screwing us. Like, it's you're giving the worst people the chance to cut people out of the things that they do. You know, that is a sign of being, I'm gonna say, a bad person, because there are all kinds of bad people. But one of the signs of being a bad person is the lack of need or desire for people. And I don't mean like hanging out with people. I mean people to be part of the systems that you create, to be part of the things that you produce. And yeah, AI pushes people out. And like, as a voice actor, and listen, I think voice acting is one of those like really, really, really cool talents. It's also something that, to the untrained ear, it feels like anybody can do. And so it's unfair, because you do get worse, like you get a worse product for a less discerning ear, and the people in charge feel like they can produce that and get away with it. Like, it's very nasty.
And that's why Switch 2 games are $120 a pop, you monsters.
Bro, they still not Switch 1 games. I still can't get Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for the cheap.
It's still $80.
$60. For what?
I'm like, I want Mario Wonder, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, I don't. It's $80.
I say, wonder how I can afford it.
Exactly.
Seriously, man.
I'm still playing. What did I say? I'm playing 3D World, like the one that was on the Wii, and then they redid for Switch. I'm playing through that now, and I'm like, man, it'd be nice to play the others, but I got this, and I got 3D Fury. I got Bowser's Fury to go through. The point is, like, make it affordable, but it gets affordable by paying people properly. Don't ask me how it works. It just does.
Yeah, I love that, Sean. Get comfortable with not understanding an inside joke. Like,
yes,
everything's not for everybody. And we, as technology and social media have like grown, like, everybody feels like they should be a part of everything, and it's never been like that. It's not supposed to be like that. That's why we have these children talking about pro wrestling in a way that upsets us non-children, because it's not how we talk about things. And you see it with like everything going on with Drake and Kendrick and Pusha and the clips, in that somebody literally said, if the clips don't outsell the Carter 3 the first week, I never want to hear about them again. To which I said, smartest thing I've ever said. I'm so proud of myself. To which I said, you would eat sand instead of fish at the beach because it's more abundant.
I don't. This goes into like the ratings and stuff too. Like, who cares who's watching, how many people are watching, how many albums are sold? Like, who cares? If you enjoy it, enjoy it. That's what matters. I don't care if this Clips album outsells the Carter 3 or the Carter 6. I expect the Carter 6 to sell more. Lil Wayne is more popular than the Clips. Carter 6 is a big album. It doesn't have anything to do with the quality of music. Carter 6 was not a very good album. So far, Clips are 2 for 2 with what they've released, and I expect it to be great. I've seen so many people try to talk rap and hip hop that clearly were not around in the 90s in early 2000s, Cam. I'm sure you've seen it too, where it's like, I don't want to hear your opinion on these Clips tracks. I just don't. I don't know when you were born, but I can tell you were not in the lunchrooms. I can tell you did not grow up spending $16 on CDs. So I did not want to hear your opinion on Clips music in 2025. This music ain't for you. All right. This is, you go listen to your auto tune. You go listen to your mumble rap stuff. This ain't for you. This is for people like me and Cam who grew up listening to this stuff.
Yeah. They say you don't, the reason you don't like Drake's music is because Drake's music is about getting bitches. Like, no, I've done that. At a very high clip, as a matter of fact. But we're touching 40. I don't want to talk about that anymore. What else you got going on? Like, what's happening with you? Now, the counterpoint that some people try to make is, well, the Clips, all they talking about is selling drugs. It's like, no, it's selling drugs is like the curtain. And then when you pull it back, they're talking about regret and trying to find maturity and not being socially adjusted and like not liking people. Like it's all so good if you can get past the surface level. A new album on July 11th. Yes. Let God sort them out. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's everything is so surface, and that's why you can get away with creating via these tools when it should be so much deeper than that. Okay. I'm done lamenting about the direction the world's going. Let me get back to the children, guys. Thank you for your time again.
Appreciate you, Cam.
Say hello to the bad guys. My man Mark Raimondi just came out today. You can order that, I'm pretty sure, wherever you get books. And I'll be back to bother you guys later in the week.
Let's go. Cam Hawkins. Hit a couple super chats and then play the interview?
Yeah.
All right. Cyclops Better Than Wolverine saying Lash's theme is Chicken Head by Project Pat ripoff. Well, all right then.
Okay.
I believe that. I'm going to go out and take a listen.
I haven't heard that song in so long. I've heard the song, but it's been a while.
I think that would be that's something to look at, something to listen to. Love Dog saying you're going to get some great headlines out of the Cody and Kevin Owens interview. Just the first 40 minutes alone. Clips are already going up on our socials, and I know that headlines are being written and articles are coming with them. You should read both, by the way. If you see the headline, read the article too, because odds are you'll find, I don't know, the context within the actual headline.
I haven't listened to it yet. And I believe you when you say Clips are going on up on our socials. Nobody has listened to it so far. So I assume I'm going to have to do that when this ends.
Yeah, well, who pointed out Super Mario All-Stars? I think it was Ken. Super Mario 3D All-Stars is rare now. If you can get a physical version, it's worth $100 plus. On my silly Amazon wish list that is mostly joke items, I have that game because I want to track the price of it, and it's at like $279 Canadian for the physical copy. And the problem with that game was the C buttons for the N64 version for Mario 64. Like, you didn't really have a place to use them. Like, I guess the secondary controller, but it's different. Like the controllers are just different. That's why they were like, we're going to release the N64 controller for Switch Online, and you could just use that instead. Regardless, if someone wants to buy that game for me in a physical form, I will absolutely accept it. 279 Canadian, 200 if you want to get the used version, which I'm totally okay with too. As long as it works, I don't care. I buy a lot of used or refurbished stuff. I just got new headphones. They were refurbished. They were
How much is Fight Forever, Joel?
$39.99.
Okay.
Oh no! Sorry, $29.99 on. Yeah, no, it's the same price it's been forever. On Amazon, it's $29.99 Canadian. Okay. Still not buying it. They're not doing anything with it, so why should I buy it?
Fair.
Do you think there's a world? Do you think there's a world where AEW decides we want to do another video game?
I think there's a world, yes. I think Kenny
Is it this
Omega
one?
and yeah, I don't know if it's this one. I think Kenny Omega and the team, they would be thrilled if they did another game. But maybe not. Maybe it was too much of a headache because it did seem like it was a lot going on behind the scenes with that game. And that's why it was delayed as much as it was. And then the product that came out was what it was. I don't know if Kenny, as much as he loves video games, I don't know if he loves the process of being involved to that level. And I only say that because he himself has talked about being an EVP and how it's not just show up and wrestle, which he enjoys. It's not just, oh yeah, get my luggage, show up to the arena. What are we doing tonight? Okay, cool. Let's go out and have a match. It's the other stuff that goes into being an EVP where he openly talked about, like, yeah, that stuff became just taxing and it became a lot. And that extra responsibility, I don't know if everybody wants that. So I think he likes being involved in video games and likes playing video games. And if he can get scanned for the game, and if he can be like, oh, that's a really cool thing that you're doing in the game, I think he enjoys that. I don't know if he enjoys the really getting into it of like, how does this work? What do we have to change here to make this work? Okay, if we do this, can we do that? Like, I don't know if he enjoys that process. That's a question for Kenny.
I think it's so much easy for me to say, to outsource it to a proper developer. And again, WWE's lucky that they have a developing partner in 2K. They have someone who comes out and does the scans and and has people come in to do mocap, and they've got a database too, because they've been working on this game for years and have had various releases. AEW would have to start from the ground up, which again, Fight Forever was that, and it took a long time because of a multitude of reasons. If they found another partner, maybe they'd be able to do it. But it's game development is hell. That's what Volob's saying, and he's right. It takes a lot. So I don't know if that's I don't know if it's in the cards. I don't know if that's something that the fan base is as rabid for these days from the AEW side. But again, I think if they had another crack at it, I think they could do better. That's really what it comes down to. Granted, the bar is low, given Fight Forever wasn't exactly, a cult classic or even just a super rousing success financially. But it'd be nice to see if they can try it again and make it look cool.
I just don't know if they're willing to put in that time and effort, and like understandably so. Honestly, I mean, how many secondary wrestling games are there that had life? Like Wrestling with Legends is about the only one that had multiple iterations. I know Fire Pro had the creation, customization, and simplicity that I don't know if anybody else is going to go to that level. And Fire Pro was, for the most, they did have the New Japan partnership for some games, but I don't know if if they had partnered with a bigger company, how that would work. TNA only had the one game. It's not like there was ever like an ROH game or anything. New Japan never really had. They might have had one like in Japan, but never came close to much success in the United States. And Fire Pro was even like a very niche kind of wrestling game that like wrestling fans really like. But again, it's because of all the creation, customization, and simplicity to it. So I don't know if that's gonna, like, how far that's gonna go with for all intents and purposes, a mainstream wrestling promotion. Like AEW is a mainstream wrestling promotion. So I don't know if there just aren't that many games out there with like secondary market game. I say secondary as in AEW is a secondary wrestling promotion. But look at any other sport. How many hockey, basketball, football games that aren't the major promotions tried and failed after one go round? Like it happens all the time. 2K tried to release a game after EA got the NFL license. They tried to release like, oh, legends and like generic players, and the gameplay was still good, but nobody wants to play that stuff. Nobody wants to. All right, cool, legends. You get bored with that. Like, people want to use the new stuff, and it's tough. The video game industry seems like it's very tough. Yeah, their mobile games aren't great either. I had high hopes for their little like general manager game because Tony is such a EWR and TEW geek, and it sucked. I was bored with that very quickly because it's all the same stuff. Like, every mobile game out there is the same thing of like, oh, you spend coins and you just spend money to purchase this upgrade and then spend money to purchase this upgrade. Like, it's all the same type of thing, no matter what branding that's out there. It's all the same generic, almost freemium game. And that's what AEW was. And yeah, I was disappointed when that came out because I was hoping for a TEW style game that, yeah, it just wasn't.
Now, before we get to this interview, I do have one idea for an AEW game if they were to ever remake it. It's very simple. You take clay fighters and you just remake them as AEW wrestlers.
They kind of have that though.
No, you do it like clay fighters. You do it like Mortal Kombat. You do it that style where you can do fatality. None of the wrestling, just the fighting with the wrestler. But they're clay fighters.
They have
clay EW.
Hold on. They have it's called like figure fighters. That's their game.
That sounds awful.
Well, this is basically what you're saying though.
No, but they never released it. It's a mobile game, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see this. Oh, this looks different. No,
Okay.
These are figures. You're doing the figures. I want clay fighters. I want like the OG clay fighters for the N64 style. If we're gonna take old games and recycle them, none of this. No, none of this. Tony Nese, Timeless Tony Storm's a good drop. But like, come on, don't do figures. No. Do it real.
Okay.
Stupid. Taking my ideas, they've already existed. I hate it.
That's a Mortal Kombat style game called Blood and Guts. That would actually be pretty cool.
There you go.
WWE tried doing something like that. It was
wasn't that the Make Good? It was it started with a B. The Make Good for the bad 2K game.
Maybe
You
I played it for a while.
Yeah. You want to call it Borderlands, but it's not that.
No, it's definitely not. Immortals.
Is it Immortals?
Yeah, it's Immortals. Yeah, that was the game that they had everyone that was like supernatural and stuff. That was actually a pretty fun game, honestly. Like, I enjoyed that game.
I'm thinking 2K Battlegrounds.
Oh yeah. That no, it's not that. Yeah, Immortals was the game that was that was a mobile game.
Right.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed that game. That game was pretty fun.
Well, there you
but
go.
It was very Mortal Kombat style. Yeah, Battlegrounds was like more Super Smash Brothers ish, like cartoony. Like that.
It was the Make Good for the 2K game that went to shit. That had a lot of problems. And I mean, they did a good job with that one because I feel like they probably just reskinned another game, kind of like Mario Brothers 2. But anyway, that's for the old heads in the room, which is like most of y'all. Anyway, let's queue up. You got an interview. Let's play that, shall we?
So this is from yesterday. This was SP3 and I recording before we went on air yesterday. It is with Tokyo Joshi Star and making her MLW debut on Thursday at MLW Summer of the Beast. I should probably go ahead and pull this up before I throw to it here. Okay. Making her MLW debut at MLW Summer of the Beast tomorrow. It airs live on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is Yuki Kamifuku. Welcome back, everyone, to In the Weeds. I'm still Jeremy Lambert. That is still SP3. We have a special guest joining us from MLW, making her MLW debut this Thursday at MLW Summer of the Beast. She's from Tokyo Joshi Pro, Yuki Kamifuku. Yuki, how you doing this evening?
I'm pretty good. I'm kind of nervous for a few days later happening.
Well, tell us about it. It's MLW Summer of the Beast. You know, how did this all come about, working with MLW?
なんですか、ハクさん。
どうやって今回の話が来たのかっていうか、その流れ的に。
I don't know, but I just got offered, and I knew that Shoko Nakajima is a champion of the, like a feather. It's like
Featherweight.
I don't know.
Featherweight,
Yeah,
yeah.
featherweight.
Yeah.
I knew the promo, but I didn't really know I'm going there, so I'm kind of surprised.
I was gonna ask, because I know this matchup that you're having at Summer of the Beast is titled The Battle of the Japanese Idols. How's been like the transition going from being an idol to pro wrestler? Because we see that so much in Tokyo Joshi Pro. I just wanted your kind of opinion on it.
Well, I don't know. I'm an idol in Japan because I don't really sing. I don't dance often like a Japanese idol. I used to do the bikini model, and then I was so bored, so I just started TJP.
So how did you get into wrestling?
Well, as I said, I was doing bikini model when I was 22, 3, and it was kind of hard to get the job. I mean, I was really bored, so I wasn't doing anything. Like I was just drinking, doing the party every day, and then I talked to my manager like I need to do something, and then the manager like introduced me Takaki Sanshiro. He's a boss of DDT Pro Wrestling in Japan, and then I knew about TJPW, and then I didn't know anything about pro wrestling, so I said like, okay, maybe I can just start it, and then now 8 year passed.
So what would you say is like the toughest thing about being a pro wrestler? Is it like the bumps? Is it the travel? Is it connecting with the audience? What is your opinion?
どういうこと？
プロレスやってて一番難しいって感じるところ、その動きなのか、移動なのか、ファンとこう、うまくつながると。
difficult thing. Everything's so difficult. Like mostly like getting hurt and giving something hurt to people is really difficult. But recent like flight is a little bit difficult for me. Like 19 hours to go to the venue. That's so hard for me sometimes. Getting like the meet and greet with fans is sometimes difficult. Like I don't know how the fans are feeling about me. Like, and Japanese fans are really shy, so like I need to like talk. なんだ well, like ご機嫌伺うじゃないですけど、なんて言ったらいいんですか、そのテンションを知りつつみたいな。
Right. She has to like read the room and engage from her end. Not quite sure of what the fans are wanting out of that experience.
It's mentioned here that you spent your teenage years living in Ohio. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
14 to 17, almost 18.
Okay. I'm from Ohio. Is it?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
No shit.
How did you? A lot of things said about Ohio from Americans. How did you find your experience in Ohio?
Well, I went to Ohio because my dad was working there, so he just bring me to Ohio. But Ohio is like, so I don't know how can I say, but more than like 90% of white people, and then no Asians like there, and then I was the only like Japanese with no speaking English in the high school at the time. So I feel like not the foreigners should live in Ohio.
What part of Ohio were you living in?
It's called Findlay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really small city in Findlay, Ohio.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ohio. Ohio is what it is. We'll just say that about Ohio.
Well, I like the place for now, but yeah.
People have said worse things than I like the place, so we'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Well,
SVP.
Summer of the Beast is going to take place in New York City. I'm from New York City
Oh,
myself.
cool. Wow.
What is going to be your experience if you've ever been before, or what have you what do you want to see while you're out in New York this time?
I went to New York once when I was a teenager with my family, and then I was so surprised. Everything's so big and like so many people, like compared with Ohio, so many foreigners and the other country people. So many mixed the culture, and then I'm so surprised, and I feel like everything's so like new and trend in New York. So I'm so excited to go New York, and this time if I go New York, I wanna the something Liberty. What was it? The
Statue of
green-
Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. I wanna take a picture with it.
For people who might not be familiar with your wrestling style or anything, what's a couple matches that they should check out ahead of MLW?
なんですか MLW の人が
上福さんの試合をとかをよく知らない人に、事前にもし見るんだったら、この試合をっていう。
I feel like MLW is mainly like lucha technique style, right? Everybody do the kind of technical people are doing. Me, I'm opposite. Like I'm not that like technical jumping lucha style person. So I do like my match. Well, every time I try to do something with my iPod, so check my iPod. easy and strong. Even eyeball, you can't train with eyeball. So like everybody, なんだ目は鍛えられないんで、どんだけでかい人でも目つぶき
No matter how much iron you pump, you can't train your eyeballs, so
Yeah.
eye poking always works.
Yeah.
Someone that is very familiar with like American fans that you've been in the ring with both as a partner and opponent is Miyu Yamashita. How would you describe kind of your experiences in the ring with Yamashita, who's really known as like the ace of TJPW?
山下さんとの試合でどう思うかですか？
組んだこともあるし、戦ったこともあるけど、山下さんはどういう選手なのか、隣に立ってみてとか対戦してみて、さっき今、いい試合のなんかサジェスションあるかって言ってたけど、プリンセスカップの決勝だっけ？
確かに。
あれ山下さんだよね。
山下さんです。
ちょうど話つなげればいいんじゃないかな。
確かに。That was it like 2 years ago? I have a Princess Cup, which is like a tournament in TJP. Me and Miyu Yamashita was the opponent for the finals. And then I knew she is a strong and then scary wrestler, but actually she was so scary and strong. And TJP is, everybody thinks like they're almost all like idol, pretty, and then casually fun wrestling, but not Miyu Yamashita. She actually likes to watch the idol performance, but she doesn't act like idol at all. And she's like a truly strong boss in TJPW. And when I'm tagging with her, I'm so like, I feel so safe. So like before the show, I can sleep so well. I can relax because I have a Miyu Yamashita beside me. But the opponent, I'm so scared. Like I talked to my mom, like tomorrow I have a match with Miyu Yamashita, so please pray for me or something. I talked to her like that.
Does your mom give you advice on look out for this from Miyu?
Well, she goes like, stay safe, don't. Yeah, she was like, okay, focus, stay safe, good job, something like that. Say,
It's good momming there.
yeah, mommy always afraid of my wrestling.
What do you make of Maki Ito's singing?
Maki Ito, she is not the technical person, but she has a huge impact character, like Ilo, but doing kind of bitchy thing, like a stuck a middle finger stuff. But I am friend with her and I know her like true personality. She's shy and really calm, but she pretends like she's a crazy like motherfucker thing. But she's like now she's an icon of like Japanese kawaii, like pretty and crazy. So I think she's really enjoy, like she shares some enjoy wrestling thing, like a なんか日本の代表するなんか楽しい面白いレスリングする女みたいに言いたいんですけど。
Right. So she's sort of able to represent sort of like what Japan is all about in the context of wrestling.
Nice. So you mentioned before that Nakajima is the current featherweight champion, and this is your first appearance for MLW. Do you have a goal in mind that you might want to challenge her for the title in the future?
Well, yeah. Well, also Nakajima is strong, and she does practice like every day. Maybe I think she's living in dojo like often. I don't think she has a house. She's living in the dojo. Because she's doing the practice every like more than like seriously like so many days the practicing. And also she is like a coach for me. She when I was like a beginner, like I train, she always like give me like practicing, like she told me how to do this thing, like a suplex thing, everything she tells me. So I feel she's a coach. So every time I do the match with her, like as an opponent, I feel like 中島さんと試合するときはいつもなんかその自分の伸びしろだったりとか成果を見てもらってるような気持ちになるから、中島さんになんか褒められたり中島さんに勝つとかはすごく私の中でなんて言ったらいいんだろう、こう一個のなんて言ったらいいんだろう、中島さんと戦うことがすごく自分のキャリアを確認できる時だなっていつも思うので、はい。
So facing Shoko is every time in a match feels like a milestone for her pro wrestling career. It feels like a test to show how much she has learned, how much she can do. And every time Shoko would compliment Yuki, it makes her feel like she moved up a step in her career. So that would be huge if she would be able to have a match against Shoko in a title match situation and even beat her.
Yuki Woon, thank you for your time today. Again, is MLW Summer of the Beast. It is Thursday. It is airing live on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern. Yuki, let everybody know where they can find you at, or any final words.
I'm not sure how you'll think of me, my technique or everything, but you'll see not all Asians are short. So you'll check it out. I am tall. And then my opponent is my tag partner, and then she's only 2 years doing the wrestling, but she's trying to be like more. She's trying to be more famous, and she wanted me more strong, but I will make her give up. So check out.
There you go. Check out Yuki's debut this Thursday, MLW Summer of the Beast. Yuki, thank you again for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll be right back here on In the Weeds.
You had me and then you left me.
All right, I didn't know who was popping who on the show there.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, check out Summer of the Beast tomorrow night. You can check out 5'6" Yuki Kamifuku, tall wrestler woman from Japan who spent time in Ohio and tried not to make fun of it.
Yeah, bless that she wanted to attempt to be politically correct, and not bury Ohio. I was trying to let her know, like, it's fine. Like, I'm here. You can say mean things about Ohio. No one will think less of you if you say mean things about Ohio. In fact, you'll probably win over some friends.
It's probably the way to go. It's going to be a fun card MLW is putting on. They've got Mistico. That's always good. We mentioned Yuki. She's taking on Wakana Yuhara. Riddle and Kenta for the world title. Kushida's going to be there. Ultimo Guerrero is taking on Hammerstone. That's for the national openweight title. There's a lot of really cool stuff. They haven't announced the tag team that's taking on Los Depredadores, have they?
I will.
According to MLW, it's still a question mark tag team.
Yeah, it is. It is still. No, yeah, it's a mystery team. Yeah.
Okay, it's still a mystery team. All right, well there you go. There's gonna be it's gonna be a good night. And then there's also I forgot to mention Anthony Green is back. He's gonna take on Brock Anderson. So yeah, MLW, go check it out. Summer of the Beast. It's tomorrow night. It's free on YouTube, right? So why not?
Free on YouTube. Shotzi is gonna be there making her debut, and Shotzi was on the show.
Cast on her arm and all.
Yeah. She was on the show yesterday, and everyone go check out that interview with Shotzi. She's a lot of fun.
Speaking of Ohio, I'm sure many have seen it. If you haven't yet, WrestleTix updated the Real American Freestyle ticket numbers. I know Jeremy's very excited to go. You know, on one side, this show is Saturday, August 30th, so there's still 2 months until show day. As of right now, tickets distributed 380. The setup is for 3,882. This is all according to WrestleTix. And 66 days to the show. There are 13,000 seats at the Wolstein Center in Cleveland where the show's happening. Jeremy, are you still thinking of going? And also, are you surprised by this number?
I'm thinking of going, again, as long as I can do, like, media. That's the only reason. Like, I don't want to go just to, like, go, you know? Like, that sounds terrible. How much are tickets, you think?
Too much?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check my friends at Game Time. We don't have a sponsorship with them, but that's okay.
Let's see if I can find it for you.
I don't know, what is it? Real American Freestyle?
Cheapest ticket is $39.60.
Real American Freestyle. It's not even popping up. They're like.
it's on Ticketmaster, but it's $39.60 is the cheapest one. That's the cheapest tickets.
I believe you. I got nothing on Game Time. Game Time won't even give me, like, a thing.
No? Seems bad. Well, you'll get them for free anyway. I'm sure the ticket prices will come down anyway. It's sitting at $40 now. It'll come down to $15. Maybe another Hogan Death Hoax will get us there.
Get in for like $5. I probably just show up and they'll just let me in.
You probably could. I'm sure if you wear red and yellow,
show up and they'll let me in. It'll be fine.
They'll just let you in. Why not? Anyway, well, we got 66 days for you to decide where you're going to show up on August 30th. Maybe there'll be a wrestling show that day. Are you still there? Or did you just freeze on me? I think you just froze on me. This is what
probably will be. I'm sure some company's going to run.
Oh, there we go. You're back. Oh, company will run for sure.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Hold on. How far is this problem here? Are you here?
I don't know. Am I?
There's a delay. Tell you that much.
Oh, okay.
It's a full 2-second delay. Anyway, we can fix that in a minute. Instead, how about we get to this? You ready? WWE Unreal, the Netflix episodic docuseries that will see the curtain pulled back on WWE's creative, is set to release starting July 29th 5 episodes, 50-minute run times. That's according to a Netflix press release. WWE Unreal definitely turned some heads, especially for a show that is all about the creative, the background of creative. And meanwhile, did you enjoy the show? It's all part of the show, man.
I'm looking forward to this I assume I'm frozen. Am I good?
You're good. It's just
Okay.
we were on that delay. I think we're okay now.
All right. I'm looking forward to this as much as one can look forward to a well-curated behind-the-scenes look at WWE. Because you know you're not going to get everything that you want. And you know they know the cameras are there. And you know they're going to want themselves to all look good. So I know it's not going to be this authentic look behind the scenes. I feel like it's going to be similar to... remember the AEW reality show? Remember they did that thing?
Do I ever?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be similar to that. But maybe a little bit. But honestly, it's going to be more storyline driven than that. Then what I mean by that is like that actually tried to like do... they tried to like do the like Red Velvet and Jade Cargill thing and with Brandy, and like they did the Brit and Thunder, which I think there was some reality to that. This is going to be even more polished than that, and story driven, meaning they're going to talk more about the on-screen stories and how it all comes together than the AEW show, which didn't do quite as much of that. So I like behind the scenes stuff. I like documentary stuff. I know what to expect with this.
Yeah, I just like you said, curated. That was the word. And it's not... I go back to last year with the WrestleMania documentary, The Rock making that thing 6 months late. It's just...
ruled.
And I joked to SB3 when he and I were hosting one day that this Unreal show, I didn't think it was going to see its release date, its timed release date, because I just had this feeling that suddenly Paul's going to want to pull it back and fix some things in the narrative. But apparently they're ready to roll it out at the end of July. That's press releases aren't the be all end all of release times. Things can be
they literally announced the WrestleMania location, and we're like, nah.
Like I said, not the be all end all. Things do change. If you like the show, it's all part of the show. So it could happen between now and the 29th of July that a month from now they're like, LOL, JK, we got some work to do. We got to fix some things. Maybe The Rock will come back and be like, well, actually, I want to take a look at some of the things that you put out here and just make sure that they're all factually accurate, Paul. I'm going to have my team look at it and your team can look at it, and then we'll meet in the middle somewhere. And then WWE Unreal will release December 31st.
I assume it's going to release on time. And like how much, like we know it's around Rumble time, so it's already 7 months old at this point. 6 months. It's already 6 months old at this point, and 6 months is a long time in wrestling. Like that was the start of the Jey Uso rise. The Jey Uso rise is done. Like we're off that right now. Like he's
we're at the plateau. We're at the plateau.
So like some of the stuff is already, it's just dated as it is. So we're just not gonna get. We're gonna get what we get, I think. But as we always say, it's not for us, right? It's for the people on Netflix who were just browsing and see, oh, what's this behind the scenes documentary of WWE? This will be cool, and then they might watch Raw. Like that's who it's for. It's for the people who might stumble across it and want to have a entry point into WWE on Netflix. and if it converts a few fans, then it's done its job.
Kate adding, Rikishi says no. Well, you know what? The new trademark for WWE Late Night, it's actually for Rikishi's new late night talk show, where for 5 weeks after WWE Unreal airs, he gives his thoughts on Jay's representation on the show. It's WWE Late Night. He doesn't talk about Jimmy. He doesn't talk about Solo. Doesn't talk about anyone else. Just Jay. Nobody else. Maybe makes a passing reference to how much he enjoys Naomi. Jimmy out here just trying to feel second in a third place race.
His podcast is something else.
I don't pay attention. It's like I just can't. I can't. Did he give his thoughts on his son losing another King of the Ring match?
I haven't seen that one yet.
I'm sure he'll be calling for the heads of more creative members.
Yeah.
Awful. Anyway, what's not awful? AEW Dynamite tonight. We're on the road.
Could be awful. We don't know.
That's true. It could be. It could turn out to be. I'm surprised more people haven't pointed out the fact that I have to talk about AEW tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah, I'll be back on Friday. My mom will probably be on the show on Friday, though.
Oh, so, that's always fun.
Yeah.
Is this a planned appearance?
Well, I'm visiting her. That's why I'm gonna miss the show tomorrow. I'm visiting my mom, and I have a 9-hour drive tomorrow, so I won't even be making a guest cameo appearance tomorrow. I'm driving alone. My lovely wife's not going with me, so she can't hold the camera phone for me so no, I will not be on the show in any capacity tomorrow, and I'll be visiting my mom, but I still plan on doing the show on Friday, and my mom will probably pop on the show because everyone popped for her appearance earlier this week.
That's as one does. You should go to Oklahoma for the parade. It's only a 16-hour drive.
Well, the parade was yesterday, so...
Well, don't blame me. You should blame Kate for bringing it up.
I will go to Oklahoma and just chill out because the parade was yesterday.
Yeah, Joel doesn't want to talk about AEW tomorrow. He'll just talk about TNA. You know what? I'll put it because I know that SB3 and I will. Well, no, because we're not doing Friday. You and I are doing Friday. When we do our TNA things you should watch, I can tell you now the street fight between Santana and AJ Francis is very good, and you will want to watch that. But again, it's yeah. There you go. 16 hours ago, not 16 hours away. Why not both?
That's more apt there. I do actually have to do an article because I saw Shay with one of those custom WWE titles. I was like, yeah. Because I did not get to do the Thunder win the championship article. I was going to. This is behind the scenes for everybody. I swear on everything. Win or lose, I was going to do a championship article because Tyrese Halliburton was pretty central figure in the finals. He's also in WWE 2K. He was on Raw just ahead of the Eastern Conference Finals. I did an article for every single Eastern Conference Final game because it was Halliburton and Brunson. Had the Pacers won, I was going to do an article that Halliburton had won a championship and the Pacers had won. As much as it would have pained me, I'm a professional, and I would have done it. I was 100% going to do the article had Halliburton lost and the Thunder won and framed it around that. I didn't feel good about doing that article when Halliburton tore his Achilles in the first quarter, and I couldn't really do a good frame job of, that sounds dirty, of Oklahoma City Thunder win NBA title, Tyrese Halliburton loses. Well, not his fault they lost. The man tore his Achilles. I didn't feel good about doing a victory article based on Halliburton's injury. So I did not do the article. Now I can do one because Shay did take a picture with one of those custom, ugly-looking WWE championships. But it at least gives me a reason to do an article this morning.
You did one for the Florida one too, the ugly Florida belt.
Yeah, I did one for the Florida belt. Yes. Yeah.
Ugly as sin. It's so bad.
Oh, Bailey went to.
She's announcing the picks.
Well, she's doing that, yes, but she also, her, Sheamus, and Grayson Waller went to. There was a like Tight End University premiere. I don't. It's something with Travis Kelce, but Taylor Swift was there, and Taylor Swift performed, and Bailey posted a photo, and so now that is another easy article.
It's Sheamus, Grayson Waller, and Bailey.
Yes.
There you go. Yes, and Bailey's going to be announcing the first round picks for the San Jose Sharks. Remember them?
Yeah, and the Sharks, they got like the second overall pick in the draft. So Bailey's going to be up there early announcing that pick.
Big deal. I think she's got like the second pick and the 30th pick in the first round. I don't know if she's doing both.
Yeah, the Sharks have 2.
Yeah.
And the fact that they said first round makes me believe she's going to do both. Yeah, Sharks got good draft position. I don't know anything about the NHL draft. The Avs haven't had a first round pick in like 5 years because they trade them all away, and the picks they do make turn out to not be great anyway. So I don't know. I probably won't watch. I'll be paying attention to the NBA draft tonight because there will be trades. It's so nice to not really have to care about the NBA draft when your team is the champions.
Sens picked 21st overall, so
okay.
There might be, I don't know. TSN thinks that they might take Blake Fiddler or Bill Zonin. Honestly, if you got Bill Zonin as an option, you take Bill Zonin.
I've never heard of these people.
Well, they're from the WHL and the QMJHL, the Quebec Minor Junior Hockey League, for Bill Zonin. You want Bill Zonin on your team, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not over till it's zoning. Can't do it. Anyway,
Zeno, I hope you get the guys that you want on for the Sixers. They pick third. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of movement in the draft tonight, but I always feel like that, and then it doesn't really happen. But Brooklyn has 5 first-round picks, so they're probably gonna try to package them. OKC has 2 first-round picks. They're reportedly gonna package them, so we'll see what happens in the draft. OKC is usually very good at, we identify this guy we want, we will package whoever we have to package to get that pick to go get that person. So we'll see. I expect some movement. Already been a lot of trades, which is good. I like the trades. All these teams just trying to chase the champs.
Bailey posted a picture on her Instagram of a Taylor Swift hat, and the caption is, "I'm all in, baby."
Oh, she's gonna be at all in, clearly.
That's it. People are gonna take that and run with it. Tomorrow's thumbnail is gonna be Bailey with the all in banner behind it. Like, Bailey is all in. That's gonna be it. AW Dynamite tonight from Kent, Washington. If that sounds familiar, that's where they ran Collision this past Saturday. So there you go. They're back again. And then they're also doing Collision tomorrow night. Well, let's get this right. They're taping Collision after tonight's Dynamite, and they're airing it tomorrow. So it'll still be in Kent. Therefore, there will be 3 episodes of AEW programming from Kent, Washington. So if the show sucks, blame Kent. If the show's great, it's because they're in Kent. There's not much to do in Kent, Washington. See? Look at that. We've already explained it.
I've never been to Kent, so I don't know, but I'll take your word for it.
Couldn't tell you. Listen, if Bryan Danielson shows up, then you know that it's a big deal. It's a big event.
I think he's going to address the live crowd. I don't think he's going to be on television. He has done promotion for this show and has said he will address the live crowd. So I think you can expect Danielson in that capacity, but I don't expect him on the show.
That's fair. They did Swerve at the end of Collision. At the end of the tapings, he did a thing with Max Caster. So you can expect, if Danielson's going to be around, he would be in that slot. End of the night. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. Thank you. See you in Texas. Maybe never say never in Texas. Yeah. Zeno are saying, I didn't know Kent existed. LOL. No, a lot of people discovered geography through the wonders of professional wrestling. That's how I learned about U.S. geography and the awful places people go. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Anyway, Hurt Syndicate will appear. That includes MJF. The 4-way to determine the number 1 contender the number 1 entrant, I should say, in the Casino Gauntlet at All In. For the women, it's going to be Athena, Willow Nightingale, Thunder Rosa, and Chris Statlander. What do you think, Jeremy? Who's going to be the number one entrant in the gauntlet?
Statlander.
Oh, you think she's going to cheat to win?
I don't know if she's going to cheat to win, but I think she's going to win.
I said it on Friday. I have this theory that Athena does win the Casino Gauntlet. She has the match against Thunder Rosa, drops the Ring of Honor Championship to her, and then wins the Casino Gauntlet. Now, here's the problem. They've since announced that the Casino Gauntlet winner gets a women's world title shot and not a TBS or any title shot, right? They've specifically said world title shot. So this is where things kind of get messy, because I was hoping for Athena and Mercedes too, and for Athena to win the TBS title. And then Mercedes starts losing all of her titles, and she descends into madness. She goes away for a while. And then she comes back with her absolutely new gimmick. And do you know what that new gimmick is?
What?
Mercedes Mortos. Or Mortos Monet. Or Ole
She's
Monet.
gonna wear a mask?
Yeah. She'll be a big bull. Why not?
All right.
I think it works. But either way, tonight they determine the number one entrant for the women's Casino Gauntlet. And then on the men's side, they do the same as well tonight. Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Bandito, and Roderick Strong. I would love to see Roderick Strong win this out of nowhere. It's number one. No one's won the Casino Gauntlet from number one. If Takeshita, I think it'd be funnier if like Takeshita wins and then wins the gauntlet by being number one and like beats the person who comes out number two. But that's what I'm at.
Yeah, they're never gonna do that though. I think that would be hilarious, but they're never gonna do that.
I think on a TV show they'll do it, but not at their biggest event ever. So,
These
well,
matches
you
are
know,
gonna
the biggest
be-
US event.
These matches are gonna be like an hour long.
You think so? Do you think so?
Yeah.
I made the joke to somebody that like the men's will go 50 minutes and then the women's will go like 12. And that's just the way it's been.
I don't think it's gonna be quite that bad, but I do suspect these matches are gonna be long.
Now SP3 saying, you know, Tony Storm won the first Casino Gauntlet from the number one spot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying number one beats number two, and that's the end of the match. There was the expectation that there would be multiple people coming out, but instead, number one beats number two, and everyone just stands there in complete shock, being like, what do we do now? Well, that's the match. You lost. You didn't get to make your entrance. You lost. That's it.
Yeah, I
And the
think
air
that
just-
would be hilarious, but they're never gonna do that.
I think that's very much like a Dynamite or Collision thing that they would do, not a biggest show in the US that they've ever done.
Yeah.
That all said, who becomes number one for the men between Bandito, Strong, Briscoe, and Takeshita?
Bandito got to keep the ROH champion strong.
That's right, brother. And then Kota Ibushi takes on Trent Beretta. Does this open the show or close the show?
I don't know if it does either.
Don't listen to me is really the trick of the show. People understand the inflection of my voice when I say what I say. You just got to learn SP3. We'll work on it tomorrow.
Look, I will take any opportunity.
You were saying?
Okay, my internet is still being terrible.
You seem fine here. Oh, now it's
I will
starting to
take
fade.
any opportunity to bury Joel, but I understood what he was saying.
Vindication. Never wrong. And also Mercedes Mortos. You know it's a great idea. You all know how great of an idea this is. There were bangers. She can be you know what? Make her not a conquistador, a matador. A matadora. She wears all red and she's a bull hunter or a bull, you know, she handles bulls. That should be the new gimmick. Come on, everybody knows.
Roosh is gonna, get
Be her number one assailant.
yeah.
You messed with the wrong bull. What is multiple Mortos? Mortoses?
More toesies. I don't know about that.
She rides bulls. Jesus Christ. The Bushi Beretta, does it open the show or does it close?
I don't know if it's going to do either. I think it's going to be just part of the show.
You think men open up, women close?
Yeah, I think the gauntlet matches are more likely to have opening and closing spots.
What ornate food should the women be eating during the number one entrant to the Casino Gauntlet match? You've got to have, Tony on one side and Mercedes on the other. Like, one's at the announce desk eating a hoagie and the other one's having a delicious shrimp scampi. I don't know. What's the food in Kent? What's the food situation like? What are they known for?
I don't think they're going to do that because Tony called out Mercedes for not taking the match serious and doing that. So it wouldn't make sense for then Tony to do that.
Kent is known for growing lettuce. They're just eating heads of lettuce.
Bryan Danielson out there, like, you guys want some good lettuce?
I swear to God, if someone makes a lettuce joke, it's going to be Stokely, but still. Oh, anyway, that's the show. We did it. Is there anything we need to plug before we get out of here? Don't think too hard now. That's the face of a frozen man. I know how this goes. Oh, you're back.
Okay.
Do you have anything to plug before we get on out of here?
If it'll allow me. SP3 and maybe Joel and I are going to do our watch along of DX versus Brothers of Destruction this afternoon, probably between like 2:30 and 3. I think that's what we're aiming for. And yeah, the link will be in the Discord channel from the In the Weeds Discord channel. So if you're signed up to Fightful Select, you can check out the link there. You can watch with us.
We didn't even talk about the thumbnail.
Well,
first Evolution match was announced. It's Jordynne Grace versus JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. We did it! Hooray! It's okay. Y'all watch NXT. Don't worry. You'll love what's happening at Great American Bash. I'm not going to do the spoils, but if you want them, you can find them. Because the show last night was taped, the NXT show. So you can find it if you want it. The results are over on Fightful if you want them that bad. So instead, I will say for Jeremy Lamberts, you know who I am. You know who he is. SP3 and I are here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, talking about AEW and a whole lot more. We'll work on the meanings that I have of the things that I mean with SP3. That'll be the 2 hours of the show, not AEW talk. But either way, leave a thumbs up on the way out. We'll see you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Friends beyond the binary. Have a good one. Cheers.